This is Next Steps for Seniors with your host, Wendy Jones. Each week, Wendy brings resources and information to help guide you through those next steps with elderly parents and loved ones. If you have questions or topic suggestions, you can call us at 248-651-5010.
As you all know, I'm your host, Wendy Jones, and so incredibly blessed to be here today with Valerie Grubb. She is a leadership strategist and the author of Planes, Canes, and Automobiles, capturing 25 years of travel adventures with her late mother. Her book and insights encourage families to savor the time they have, travel smarter, and build memories that last long after the journey ends. So, Valerie, we are so blessed to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wendy. I'm very excited to be here and discuss something that's obviously very passionate and very near and dear to my heart.
Well, and traveling with your loved one it's amazing. It's an opportunity to create memories that I just feel like all of us need to spend more time doing. And yet that's the key thing, right? Time.
Yeah, it's time. Everything comes down to time, right? Particularly at this time of year, in December, right, where we're struggling with time. But I think that it's also just a really great opportunity to think about what those priorities are. And you got less time than you think. And so traveling with your parents creates memories that there's no amount of phone calls will make up for. And that to me was the biggest difference was, I talked to my mom when she was alive every day, at least once a day, if not twice a day. And I don't necessarily remember those phone calls, but let me tell you, I got a lot of memories to remember my mom from all of our travels together.
Oh, gosh, I just love this. And this is great insight because we're all learning, right? Everyone's going to pass at some point. So like you mentioned, time is limited. So we need to grab onto the time that we have with our loved ones. So I'm assuming, this is what inspired you really to start traveling with your mom. Tell us about how that whole thing started. I mean, it's the moments that you created.
Yeah, I was in my 20s and it was my first job, and my boss was pushing me, saying, take a vacation, take a vacation. It had been 5 years since I had gone on vacation, thinking I was so critical. There's no way I could leave and all this.
Right.
And he assured me that the world would not fall apart if I went on vacation. And
okay, sounds like you're a good employee.
Right. And he said, he's like, I just love this boss. And he's like, where have you always wanted to go? And I said, I want to go to Italy. And he goes, go now. And I booked a flight for 2 weeks later. None of my friends could get off work. And I called my mom. I was a little nervous about going to Italy by myself.
Right.
And I thought, you know what? Let me see if mom wants to go. And she did. And by gosh, we went. And it was such an eye-opening experience to me. Mm-hmm. And I just loved it. Like, I got to see her as this whole person, like a whole different person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just completely, like more like she's still my mom, but it was us against, Italy, against travel, against seeing all these new things.
Right.
And it was just so amazing to experience that with her. And we traveled at least once a year from then on. And I noticed that, gosh, probably 10 years later, things that were starting to get much harder. Mom was slowing down. Mom needed a cane. And Mom had lots of medicines that she was on. And it just got harder. And I still wanted to travel with her. And I looked online and there was nothing. I couldn't find anything that would help me when things got harder. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to write it. And I wanted others to know that the challenges are real, but it's still doable and the reward is absolutely profound. And so that's really was the motivation for me to write the book.
which is fantastic. I love the motivation, obviously. And I need to say thank you. I'm sure you have to your boss who actually challenged you to do this.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to know the real reason. Yeah.
Right. And had he not pushed me, I don't know that, who knows when I would have asked my mom. If I would have, when I would have, and not for any other reason than, you just get to a certain age and you kind of travel with your friends versus your parents. And what an opportunity that hundreds of thousands of miles opened up with my mother.
So did you still travel with your friends too? Like, I don't know how many vacations you have, but you can still do your mom trip every year, obviously. And then
exactly. And that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I did was I would make sure that my mom and I traveled. My dad was a pilot, so he didn't want to go travel.
Oh,
and he was like, you girls go off. And it was, not that the three of us didn't travel. The three of us went to Spain. We did some long haul stuff, but he was fine with the girls going off. So
it sounds like you do some big trips too, which takes a lot of planning and a lot of, forethought, right?
Absolutely.
And do you have siblings, just out of curiosity? Because what would you recommend for families that have siblings?
Yeah, I have a brother. So my brother's 3 years older than I was. And he, I don't know. We just never asked him to come along. I will say that we used to go visit him. So my mom, dad, and I went to visit. My brother lived in Spain for a couple years he works for Ford Motor Company in Michigan. And so we went to visit him in Spain, the three of us. And then, some years later, my brother was in China and my father sadly had passed. And my mom and I went to see him, oh my gosh, probably half a dozen times together. So these are long haul trips, and we went to Thailand afterwards. We went to Cambodia. And so we just did some long haul stuff. And you're absolutely right, Wendy. You do need to think about it and prepare. But I enjoy all that. So for me, it was wonderful to be able to bring mom along with me.
So can you share a little bit when it got more difficult? How innovative did you need to be? And how old was she, just out of curiosity, when it started getting harder?
She was about 65. 65, and we traveled for another, it's worth noting that we traveled for another 25 years. So my mom passed 4 years ago at 90. And so, we...
that's a long life, and that's a great experience for her.
Knock wood that I'm blessed with that as well, right?
You are.
And I think that this helped keep her young, because my mom loved to travel as well. This wasn't me dragging her along. This was her wanting to go, just me having to make it easier. And so like I said, it was 25 years of her being 65 and over. And like I said, and she got to the last, I'm going to say 15 years, she was in a wheelchair. And so it was navigating. We still went long haul. I remember paying folks to carry her up in like this rickshaw thing, carrying her up Angkor Wat in Cambodia because mom couldn't walk. And my mom loved it. She's like, Val, I want to be carried around like this all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, I've just created a monster.
This is great. Of course.
Oh my God, we had so much fun. We just used to laugh until we cried.
Well, and see, this is what I want our listeners to hear is how you are talking about these experiences right now, to me, is life-changing. And you can call every single day. I do the same thing with my mom. But the reality is it's the moments that are life-changing. And you created moments with travel. And she loved it. And she looked forward to it. And I agree with you. It probably kept her young. It absolutely did.
Absolutely.
So to our listeners, okay, so maybe we can't go to Italy and Spain and all these fantastic places that, Valerie, you've been blessed with, but why can't we go up north? Why can't we rent a cabin or a cottage or, go on a day trip somewhere and spend the entire day, have a picnic, whatever, unique things, right?
Agreed. And to be honest, Wendy, I actually recommend starting with that. You don't go long haul. It worked out for Italy, but mom was younger. Mom was 50, late 50s. But I always, in the book, I recommend that you start smaller. Start with a town that's right around the corner from you, and just stay over one night and try it out. And I think that it's a great way to really show you that you can do it, and that it's going to be priceless memories, even in a town that you've never, that's won over, or to the lake, or like you said, just renting a cabin or your own cabin, even better. And just experimenting with trying something new. Like that to me was what made it really fabulous. I remember going to Frankenmuth with my mother when I lived in Michigan. Just even that, go somewhere new, and it's the two of you exploring it together. It's the two of you tackling something together. And it really can change the whole dynamic of your relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to get into in our next segment, we're going to take a quick break, but in our next segment, we are going to talk a little bit more about how we do this and what if you have a difficult family situation. So tune in. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to Next Steps for Seniors, Conversations on Aging.
This Christmas, give more than just a gift. Give encouragement, inspiration, and joy. In the Crosswalk Holiday Gift Guide, you'll discover a curated collection of meaningful books and devotionals that celebrate faith, family, and the real reason for the season. This Christmas, we invite you to share comfort, quiet, or excitement with each person on your gift list. From beautifully illustrated Bibles and devotionals to novels and picture books, this guide holds the perfect book for every reader, including yourself. So stuff those stories into stockings, wrap collections with care, tuck a book or two into your own nightstand, and join us in celebrating the wonder of reading this Christmas. Explore the Crosswalk Holiday Gift Guide and find something special for everyone on your list. Visit crosswalk.com/gift guide today.
Welcome back to Next Steps for Seniors, Conversations on Aging. We are here today with Valerie Grubb, and what great information we are learning from her and her experience and her book that is incredible that we're going to talk about in more detail at the end of the program today. But I wanted to move into, Valerie, because you have so much insight on traveling with your aging parent. I wanted to move into, talking about preparation and mobility concerns, medical needs, pacing, budgets, destination selection. These are all things that you need to consider, specifically as you're traveling with an aging loved one.
Yes, absolutely. And I always suggest to get started to really talk openly about all of those topics, like the physical abilities. Medical needs, any dietary issues, stamina, understand mobility limitations before you pick a destination. As mom aged, I now needed to focus on having wheelchair access wherever we were going. You have to think about, is heat, cold, hills, air quality, could that be an issue? Also discuss budgets. Once someone retires, that really kind of changes the financial dynamics. And above all else, then what I did was pick a destination that we were both looking forward to, not just what we wish we could do, but I knew walking into it that we could safely do it and enjoy ourselves.
Well, and it works for both of you because you don't want her to just have the time of her life and you're like, whoa, that was not that much fun for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And it was kind of fun figuring out, that's part of the fun, really. Is looking at different destinations and saying, hey, Mom, what do you think about this? Here's what I thought looked interesting. What do you think? Mm-hmm. And so it just made it, again, like the fun starts even before the trip starts.
It does. It does. And the anticipation. I mean, it's something to look forward to. I mean, everyone listening to the program right now who's been on a vacation, you literally plan, can't wait, talk about it, tell everybody you're going. And then when you come back, it's almost like a letdown and you're like, oh. And then you start planning your next vacation.
Exactly. And then exactly. You just kick right in. And that's what Mom and I would typically do is we would, before, like when we're traveling back, we would already start talking about where we were going the next time. Yeah, it was just, gosh, I'll tell you, I can't even begin to describe how much I miss it since she's been gone.
I literally was going to say, so just so the listeners know that she has passed, and tell us what traveling with your mom taught you most, really, about yourself, about aging, just share with us some of the things that you've learned. And
oh gosh, so much, Wendy. It taught me that aging is hard. Loss of independence is painful. And the world can feel overwhelming when your abilities changed. And I learned that I needed to respect her pace. I needed to respect her fears and her preferences, not bulldoze over them because they slowed me down. And our parents are whole human beings with histories, with opinions, with vulnerabilities and dreams. And travel let Mom rediscover that and me be along for the journey. And so it really, to be honest, I also found that I enjoyed traveling more with my mother because of the fact that we would slow down and see things, or we would stop. Before I'd go see 6 museums in a day, am I really remembering anything?
Right.
Or am I going to one, sitting down, having coffee and a pastry or lunch, talking about what we just saw, and then going to one more museum, and just at the leisurely pace, I found I enjoyed myself.
You enjoyed it.
More. Yeah.
Right.
I remembered more too.
We all need to take time to smell the roses. I mean, let's just be honest, right?
Absolutely.
And the best time to do that it is on vacation, when you're in a different mindset completely, and you're with your loved one. I mean,
and that was not my traveling with friends was not my experience. Literally, I've got a packed itinerary that's up at 6, to bed at noon, at midnight, and I've seen 100 things in between. I'm checking boxes. I was checking boxes, and with Mom actually taught me, and aging actually taught me that I don't need to see 100 things. It's okay to relax and like you said, smell the roses.
Enjoy it. Enjoy the time together. And tell us, you probably had not just the visual component of traveling, but the emotional component, right?
Oh,
you and
gosh.
her having the deep talks maybe that you've never even had before.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, you can't really help it, but because, look, your mom or your parent is still going to say something that, my mom used to, like, my mom has, till the day she died, she hated my lipstick choices. So, and we got into it one time, we're traveling. She's like, you're wearing that lipstick out? And I'm like, well, Mom, it's on my lips. Yes, I'm wearing the lipstick out. And so we got into it, and we got into this discussion. It's like, what is do you know that you talk about my lipstick every time? And she's like, I don't do that. And I'm like, well, and so, we just talked about it. And I tell you what, it never was an issue again. Like, that used to just get underneath my crawl. And she said her piece. She still asked me about it. But I just didn't let it faze me anymore because I understood.
Maybe you needed to let it go after that. You just had to say your mind, and then it's over. And that leads me to my next question, because the reality of the situation is one of the reasons that families are the most difficult to to travel with is because we know each other so well. We have a lot of differences, and you have to kind of let your guard down a little bit. So what would be advice to those families that maybe don't have great relationships with each other?
Well, the thing that I liked about travel is that it gives you a neutral territory. You're not in your parents' house. You're not in your house.
Yep.
And what I find is that there weren't old patterns to fall back into because we're in some new place. And so exactly to your point before, I found that we ended up having conversations we'd never have at the kitchen table because of the fact that we were in someplace new. And I just found that, back to your point about just enjoying things, it felt different. Like, even if Mom did go back into asking about my lipstick or complaining about the food or whatever, like we got into this big row on our first trip in Italy because we couldn't find eggs for breakfast. And I'm like, I don't know. They just don't eat eggs for breakfast, it must be. And so, like, it was like, who cares? But this was deeply important to my mother. Okay. And I just, it was my opportunity to just let that go, that it just didn't matter. She wants eggs for breakfast. It is what it is. It's not wrong. It's okay. And it actually helped when I came home, because I sort of said, if I can let things go in Italy, I would think that I can do that here as well. And so I guess it taught me to be a better adult, that things that used to bother me just didn't, because it was just her opinion. It wasn't, I was adding the judgment on it. And being in Italy and traveling really helped me to see that. Interestingly enough, that she's got opinions. She's got her ideas, and they're with her.
We all do.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the reality is, and so my question to you, looking back now, I mean, obviously, your mom has passed for quite, some years. I'm going to get a little personal for a second. Yeah. You probably would do anything to go back.
Oh my gosh.
And just have one more trip.
You are absolutely right, Wendy. Yes. And I was there, held her hand when she passed, and my brother was out of town for work, and I kind of looked at that as, I felt sorry for my brother for not being there. Because
he missed the moment. However, yes. I feel like God gave you that moment because of all the time. I think so,
too, and I felt like it was the last trip that my mom and I'm sorry, 4.5 years still feels like yesterday, but I felt like real. I felt like it was the last trip that my mom and I needed to go on together. Yep. And that's why my brother wasn't there.
Yep. And the reason I wanted to go here is because for anyone listening to the program right now who still has mom and dad with them, do not miss these opportunities. You do not want to have regret. I mean, you can hear in her voice how much fun she truly enjoyed. And she has all these memories to hang on to with her mom for the rest of her life. And guess what? The next generation is going to do the same thing. So we have an opportunity. This is our life. It's short. Make the best of it. And don't use the excuses, I don't have time or I don't have money. Make the time, because you don't want to have regrets at the end of the day. And our time is so limited with our loved ones. And our parents are near and dear. They raised us. They did all these things for us their entire lives. We have an opportunity to embrace it, engage with them, and just enjoy those years. Even if it's just a week, a year. Look at the memories Valerie's talking about right now. It's incredible. We only have 20 seconds left, but I know you want to say something. Yes.
I was just saying it truly is magical. I was just going to say here to everything you said, Wendy. It's time is short. No regrets. I have zero regrets.
It's a gift. It's a gift. So reach out, everyone. You're listening to Next Steps for Seniors, Conversations on Aging. Call your loved ones and make plans to take a trip.
This Christmas, give more than just a gift. Give encouragement, inspiration, and joy. In the Crosswalk Holiday Gift Guide, you'll discover a curated collection of meaningful books and devotionals that celebrate faith, family, and the real reason for the season. This Christmas, we invite you to share comfort, quiet, or excitement with each person on your gift list. From beautifully illustrated Bibles and devotionals to novels and picture books, This guide holds the perfect book for every reader, including yourself. So stuff those stories into stockings, wrap collections with care, tuck a book or two into your own nightstand, and join us in celebrating the wonder of reading this Christmas. Explore the Crosswalk Holiday Gift Guide and find something special for everyone on your list. Visit crosswalk.com/gift guide today.